Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about a man shop or a man cave, whatever you want to call it. This is kind of my man cave. There's a couple of rules about man caves. Number one, and this is the biggest rule, I'll give you a tour here of everything in a minute. It has to be practical. You can't make, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing here? Now, me personally, I am building engines and running a machine shop. This is actually not the machine shop, but there is some machine shop stuff that goes on here. The block shop and the vat and the boring equipment and everything is at another location. Kind of hard to do that because this is actually my garage. Well, a couple of years ago, I decided, you know what, I'm going to move some stuff into the garage, just maybe a workbench and, you know, maybe assemble an engine here and there. Well, it never stays there. It always ends up, you know, morphing into this craziness that you see here. And that's fine, but the thing is, what you want to do is you want to consider the fact that you need to be able to, you can have something that's cool, you can have a, you know, all this stuff and set it up the way you want it, but you got to be able to get some practicality out of it. So the fact of the matter is that what I do is a little bit on the dirty side, and you know, we're dealing with engines and cylinder heads and blocks and so forth, and so we try to keep it as clean as possible, but it's not going to be, you know, everything's not going to be perfect all the time because you know, that's just the nature of working on engines, is they're dirty, and cars as well. Well, the other thing is that is really important is that the key word is, I don't know if you can see this, but man cave. Man cave. There's no W-O in front of that. So what will always happen is if you have a wife or a girlfriend, I have a wonderful wife, I just love her, I'm crazy about her, but when I was kind of setting some of this up, she feels like she wants to come out and give me advice on you know, where I should put this, where I should put that. Listen guys, when it comes to a man cave, women are not allowed to give their opinion, period. Because what happens is they will neuter your man cave. In other words, a man cave is a little bit chaotic as far as, you know, and I'll explain that in a minute. But if you look at the stuff that you find in a man cave, it's just not, you know, it's just there, right? It's like, oh, hey, I'll hammer this in here. This looks good, right? Women want everything to be symmetrical. They want everything to match. They want everything to be centered. No, that's missing the whole point of a man cave. It shouldn't be like that. It should be chaos. It should be crazy. Okay, that's the whole idea. Everything on this wall means something to me, right? I got stuff up there and the average person is going to see it and go, what the heck is that for? Well, you know, that was this one time, you know, me and my buddy, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of this stuff has sentimental value to me. I got a couple of things up there that I'll show you that my father gave me. And so the point is, it is a man cave. It is not a woe man cave, okay? The rest of the house is the woe man cave. Let her do whatever she wants, right? Don't try to stop her. In fact, you probably need to help her on occasion, otherwise you're going to end up sleeping out in that little tiny house outside in the backyard. But the point is, it's a man cave, okay? So keep it that way. One of the things that I also like to do is take some time to set this up. Take some time to say, if you're going to have a work area, if you're going to have a man cave, if you're going to have a man shop, whatever you want to call it, take some time to set it up and make sure everything's organized. Because one of the biggest problems and one of the biggest bummers about doing something like this is unorganization. You've got to organize your nuts, your bolts, your tools. Everything has to be organized. And granted, I'm not the most organized person in the world, but what I've noticed is it really helped when I took time to actually, you know, organize things and set it up so that everything was accessible. Then when you actually go to work on something, it's way easier. It takes about half as much time. Sometimes you go into shops or garages where everything's so unorganized, the guys working on stuff spend half their time looking for tools, right? I don't have time to look for tools. So I'm going to spend the time to organize everything I need to and go from there. So I'll give you a little tour. Now, you can set yours up however you want. Again, I don't have like a big screen TV. I'm really not a huge sports fan, although I do follow racing. I follow NASCAR and NHRA racing. I'm a big fan of Dale Earnhardt, and I got a number 3 hat up there that kind of represents that. I'm also a big fan of John Force Racing, Robert Hight, all those guys, you name it. You know, Cruz Pedregon, all the racers. The Force girls, I love watching them. They're actually pretty good contenders. You know, Tony Schumacher, I mean, that name, you know, you say that name and everybody knows what you're talking about, at least hopefully they do. So, you know, there's a lot of racing sports type stuff that I'm really into. I don't really follow the football and the basketball too much. I'll look at it occasionally, but it's not really my thing. So let me give you a tour here. We'll grab this thing and hopefully you won't get shaken around too much. So first of all, what we've got is over in the corner, of course, we have the compressor, and I got a big fan there in case I need it. Parts washer, some wood down there for storage. You can see on the bottom of this bench, we got a balance job right here. There's some miscellaneous parts. We got some cylinder heads that we're working on. So of course, you know, we're working. We have jobs that are in progress. There's the crankshaft for that balance job up there. So we just got our bench set up, and you got to watch out. There might be flying tools occasionally around here. I went ahead and put the valve grinder up on this bench to save space. And you want to try to utilize space up on the walls if you can, especially if you're in a limited space like I am. So we got you know, if you go down to some of these stores, you can get these signs. I'm a big fan of Route 66, and I love Hemis. I love NASCAR. There's a Ford there. I love Fords too. I also love Chevys. So Ford, Chevy, and Chrysler, I'm big fans of all three. That sounds strange to a lot of people, but of course we've got a Route 66 clock. So this is just kind of some stuff. If you look right up here, that's one of those old antique hand-driven drills. That belonged to my father. He actually had a couple of those. There's also a piece of driftwood up there. It's a little bit on the dark side, but there's just a piece of driftwood now that piece of driftwood there, my father actually found that in a stream in Japan back in the 1950s. And I don't know why, but he just loved that thing. And everywhere we moved when I was a kid, that thing was always up on the wall somewhere. And so he's passed away now, and it really actually has a lot of sentimental value to him. This, you see there's a 12-gauge shotgun sitting here. This is actually an antique double-barrel shotgun that my father and I found along the Spokane River in Spokane, Washington, buried in the mud. It's a Civil War era 12-gauge. He made the stock. The stock is not finished. It's just kind of screwed on there. But he actually started making that, and he passed away before he finished it. So I have people say, well, why don't you finish that? It's like, no, I want it left just like he left it. A lot of memories there. And then, of course, you know, little things like this, shop labor rate, $45 an hour, which is actually way less than what I charge. But if you looked at it, it's $55. If you touched it, it's $65. If you watch me fix it, it's $75. And if you offer me advice on how to fix your parts, you're going to pay $100 an hour. So just little stuff like that you can throw up there. It's kind of cool. And you'll see that this is an L-shaped bench we got here. I actually put the wood on top of it. And just some stuff I do to organize is keep all this stuff. There's a bunch of bolts that we regularly use for engines. And then a shelf like this is always good too. We got a bunch of work here, stuff that we're working on. Cylinder heads, then of course the toolbox over there. And then we have the equipment, of course. This is the decking machine. We're getting ready to, we just tore an engine down, so it's a big old mess. Another bench over here, another organizer tray, and more shelves on the wall. And then of course one very important part of a man cave is your tunes. So I've got my 200-watt tunage up here with my big 1970s speakers. one there, and then of course we put the other one on the opposite wall up there above the door. So you definitely got to have tunes. That's a big deal. Storage cabinets always help. Some equipment here that we use for rebuilding and cleaning parts. Cylinder head workstation where we put the guides and the seats in, and then another cylinder head milling machine. But I mean and if you look on the wall, pegboard really helps too. Lots of pegboard, so we're able to hang all these tools up and have access to them, keep everything organized. So that's basically, you know, my take on a man cave. Just make sure that you know, you set it up the way you want it, man. It's your man cave, whatever you're comfortable with, set it up that way. Don't be afraid to throw stuff on the wall. Semi-unorganized is not a problem. I put a spool with the air hose up there so I wouldn't have any trouble with it. Just don't let anybody tell you how to do it. As long as it works for you and it's comfortable, hey, go for it. So in the past, I've had homes and garages where the garage was basically just a gigantic catch-all for junk. I see it. I drive around my neighborhood. Sometimes our neighbors' garage doors are open, and their garage doors are packed with stuff, just almost stacked to the ceiling with stuff. They can't get their cars in there. What is that? You don't need that much stuff. If you got to pack that much stuff, if you know, rent a storage for 25 bucks a month or something. Your garage is actually part of your house. You're paying for that house, whether you're renting or most of us, you know, we have a mortgage payment. So here's, you know, 600-800 square feet or whatever it is of space that you're paying for that's full of junk. It's just a storage area. Why would you do that? You can rent a storage area for 30 or 40 bucks a month or 25 a month or whatever, depending on what they charge in your area. Get rid of all that stuff, man. Make yourself a man cave. Make yourself a workshop. Do something with this space because, and a lot of people, I had a buddy who for years, he just had, his garage was packed full of crap. Well, he come over, I don't know, and he saw what I was doing here probably about 6-8 months ago, and he got inspired and he turned his garage, he rented a storage space, he turns into his garage into a killer man cave. I mean, he's got the big screen TV and the leather couches and the fridge and the whole shot. You know, he doesn't really do much work. He tinkers around on the cars now and then. But the point is, utilize that space because a lot of people don't even think about that. They just think, oh yeah, just throw that out in the garage, and after a year or 2 years they accumulate all this crap that they're never going to use again, and it just takes up space. You're wasting that space that you're paying for. So I hope that helps. I mean, and if you have any advice, I'm certainly not an expert on the man cave, okay? But if you have any advice, go ahead and comment, subscribe below. I got a lot of machine shop and engine building videos. I don't really do videos like this too often, but I'm willing to, you know, take your suggestions. I'm willing to listen to any video ideas you have. One of the reasons that I set this up like this is because I'm actually going to start doing more videos. Now, granted, most of them are going to be geared around engine building and high performance, you know, machining and so forth. But hey, I'm open to anything. You know, I like to talk about this kind of stuff. And so make sure you subscribe below. I got probably 90 videos on here that are engine building. I got 2 complete engine builds. I've got a 289 Ford. Actually, it turned out to be a 302. It says 289, but it actually turned out to be a 302. I've got a 455 Oldsmobile from start to finish. Lots of machining and decking and cylinder head work and how to assemble things, how stuff goes together. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in car stuff, machine shop stuff, maybe you've never seen a block machine before, yeah, check it out. Go ahead and subscribe below. I appreciate it. And give me your suggestions and your comments below. I'll be happy to respond to them when I have a chance. And thanks for watching.